doing a new type of video. We're going to be doing a field trip to Boston. And today we're going to be talking about Fenway Park and the Boston Red Sox. Now, to start this off, we're going to start with a little bit of a story, a bit of a myth, if you will. Although it may not actually be all that much of a myth. Now, what we're going to be talking about is the curse of the Bambino. Now, this was supposedly a curse that was placed on the Boston Red Sox after the team sold Babe Ruth to the Yankees after 1919. Now, this curse was used to explain why the Boston Red Sox hadn't won a World Series for 86 whole years. So that was from 1918 until 2004. And that's a really long time. And interestingly enough, this isn't the only curse that supposedly inhabited Major League Baseball. Now, before Babe Ruth was sold to the Yankees, the Red Sox were really successful, and they won a bunch of World Series. The team earned 5 entire World Series titles before selling Ruth, which is really good. But after the sale, the Yankees became the most successful team in the majors, and they're the ones who bought Babe Ruth. And the Red Sox could not win another World Series for that entire period. But they came really close in 3 occasions during the 1900s. Now, this curse was supposedly ended when the Red Sox beat the Yankees in 2004, which actually led to their victory in the World Series. In addition, this curse gained a ton of publicity, with Red Sox fans trying to break the curse, and the curse being mentioned in several documentaries and media. Now let's get on to nowadays, where Fenway Park is in this very center of Boston, right smack dab in the middle of Fenway, just like the name says. Fenway Park isn't just a major attraction for baseball games, but also many other major events, like concerts, that are also hosted in the park. This makes Fenway Park a great attraction, and you guys should all visit it if you ever get the chance. In addition, around Fenway Park, there are a bunch of really great and tasty restaurants, including Tasty Burger, which I would definitely recommend if you ever get the chance to visit Boston. Now, let's talk about the history of Fenway Park. It might be pretty surprising to you, but Fenway Park actually started as a football field, in addition to its baseball field function. Additionally, Fenway Park has been up since 1912, which is a very long time ago. This also makes it the oldest ever ballpark in Major League Baseball. In addition, Fenway Park has hosted the World Series a whopping 11 times, and the Red Sox won 6 of those. And as stated before, the Fenway Park wasn't just used for baseball games. Football games were hosted there, other sports like hockey even were hosted there, and concerts. Now let's talk about the history of the Red Sox. The Red Sox moved to Fenway Park from an old Huntington Avenue grounds. In 1911, the owner, John I. Taylor, purchased the land bordered by Brookline Avenue, Jersey Street, Van Ness Street, and Lanzone Street, and made it into the famous baseball stadium. Now, Taylor made the name Fenway Park because of its location in the Fenway neighborhood. Now, this part of land was also referred to as the Fens, which created the Back Bay Fens Urban Park. Now, the first game in Fenway Park was actually in April 20th, 1912, with the mayor actually throwing out the very first pitch, and Boston defeated the New York Highlanders, another New York team. Not the Yankees, of course. However, media didn't really cover this, because beforehand there was the sinking of the Titanic, which people wanted to read much more about than Fenway Park. Now, if you guys didn't know, the scoreboard at the Fenway Park is referred to as the Green Monster. And that also happens to be what the name of the mascot is. Well, no, not the name, but what the mascot is. A little green monster. Now, surprisingly, despite the growth of popularity in baseball over the years, the seating capacity of Fenway Park really hasn't changed all that much. It started at around 34,000 seats, only to 37,000, which really isn't all that much of a difference. So really, Fenway Park hasn't changed all that much. Even the scoreboard is still mechanical, which means that people have to operate behind, instead of using digital scoreboards like many other stadiums use today. Now, as I stated previously, the Green Monster is the famous scoreboard, which is also the back or the left field wall in the park. Now, it's 37,000 feet in area, which makes it a really, really huge wall. And inside of it is the scoreboard. Now, originally the wall was made out of natural wood, but now it's been covered by plastic. Now, ironically, despite being a baseball field, a lot of other events actually started in Fenway Park that are not related to baseball. For example, the very first open-air boxing show was hosted in Fenway Park in 1920. That's exactly 100 years from now. In addition, major soccer and football games were hosted as well, and even hockey, as I had mentioned before, where they covered the entire field in ice rinks and had the hockey players play on these massive areas of ice. Because the whole field was so large, you could actually fit multiple hockey rinks, but there was typically one major hockey rink in the center. Now let's talk about the Boston Red Sox, which was a team that absolutely dominated a bunch of the competition in their earlier years and nowadays. The Red Sox have maybe a few famous names that you guys have heard. For example, David Ortiz, Babe Ruth, which we have mentioned before, and several others. In addition, they have a bunch of different songs that are tied to them, including Sweet Caroline and Dirty Water. Now, as many of you may know, the Red Sox have a pretty bad rivalry with the Yankees. Both teams faced off ferociously in many recent games, creating many wins and losses, with many reports of media saying that it's the greatest or best rivalry in all of sports, which some may disagree with. For example, the New England Patriots and the New York Giants, which is a pretty famous rivalry for football. However, the Red Sox weren't all about baseball. They also had many different reports of media attached to them, such as radio, television, and music as well. With radio and television gaining traction in the late 1900s, the Red Sox games were able to be broadcasted to a much broader audience, not just those that attended in the stadiums. And many songs that were created for the Red Sox were played in the stadiums and became their classics and almost their sort of theme songs. Well, anyways, guys, that's all I have to talk about today, and I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and that's it for today. Bye!